Welcome back to another video, guys, here with Onewheel, and today we're going to be talking about several things you can kind of bring on a one-wheel ride to make the best ride experience possible, and also to increase the safety as well too. So without further ado, let's jump right into the content here. I'm not going to list these in order of importance because these are different items that could be more important than some others depending on the situation. For example, if you get a flat tire, and having a tire pump now becomes more important than having a cell phone because a cell phone can't pump your tire. Well, maybe there are some phones out there that do that. But either way, you guys get the point I'm making. So the first one that I wanted to mention was bring a backpack. The reason why you need to have a backpack is because you're going to need to be able to carry all these things that I'm about to tell you. So make sure you bring a backpack because you can carry all of these essential items, and also you can carry some things that maybe you just want to bring along, you know, like a bottle of water or something like that too, because you need to be hands-free when you're riding on the one wheel. Okay, you don't need to be holding on to anything. You need to be hands-free, but you also need to have some type of way of holding things. The one that I'm using is this one off of Amazon. I'll put the link to it in the description below if I can find it for you guys. But the backpack I'm using is really slim, and it has a couple pockets because I want to be as minimal and as slim as possible and as light as possible. Now the second thing that I want to mention is bringing a phone. Now most of us all probably have a phone of some sort, but just make sure that you have some type of connectivity to internet or network or a service, because when you're out riding, sometimes I like to ride and just get lost, especially if I'm off-roading. I don't want to have to follow the trail that I always ride. I like to just explore and just kind of get lost out there and really kind of de-stress and disconnect from the universe. So, you know, bring a GPS in case you actually get lost. You know, that has happened to me before, but it was very clutch to have in case you fall or get hurt. You can't get on your board and walk to your car. Hope that doesn't happen to anybody. But if that does happen, you have a way to communicate and let people know that you're hurt too. So now the next thing that I wanted to bring up, the third item, is a charger, because sometimes you're riding, you get locked in. Like me, sometimes I lose track of time, or I just don't care about my battery because I just like to enjoy the moment, and your battery starts running low. You get some crazy pushback, you know, your battery's running low, or whatever it may have you, or you know, you've been riding for a couple hours, you know that you're probably pretty low on your battery at this point. So bring a charger, and have in mind where you're going to charge, or maybe just kind of bookmark it as you ride by places. Think about places where you can get back to get to a charge. I'm not sure if you can plug into public areas in your local area, but you guys make that discretion on your own. But I definitely want to mention to bring a charger, because there are different charging ports all over different parks and things of that nature as well too, and you never know when you need that little bit of juice just to get back to your car or get back home or wherever you need to get to. Okay, now the next thing I want to bring up is a tire inflator. So bring a tire pump or some type of tire pump or gauge, so that way you can check your PSI. I think that's really important, especially if you're gonna be off-roading. So for example, I like to lower my PSI when I'm off-road because I like the mushy feel of being off-road. So make sure that you bring some type of tire pump so that you have a means to actually control that tire pressure, and you can, you know, obviously leverage that when you're off-roading, and then when you're back on the road, you can go ahead and put that tire pressure back to what you would like. And unfortunately, this has happened to me before, but I have got a flat tire once. You know, you could get a flat tire. You know, I did it trying to rock climb with my one wheel. Don't ask me why. I got a treaded tire, and I thought that I could do all this cool things because I had a treaded tire, and then I ended up popping the tire. So, but that's a story for another day. Maybe I'll make that into a video and show y'all how I did that. But either way, you can get a flat tire, glass, nails, paper, not paper, but you guys know that there's debris out there on the road that can cause you to get a flat tire. So if that happens, you know, you want to have that pump. You know, when it happened to me, you know, I looked down at my board and I was like, oh, what the cheese is going on? You know, and then I realized that I had a flat tire. So bring a pump. And now we're on the topic of maintenance and bringing maintenance items. You know, obviously you can't carry everything that I'm going to list in this book bag of yours that you're going to probably bring. But most of this stuff is really good to bring on a group ride, because maybe you can have one person cover certain items to have one of these things, one or the other. So, but I do want to mention this next item, which is bringing an Allen key or an Allen wrench, the one that comes with your one wheel. For me, I do a lot of trick riding, and so my bang bumpers sometimes loosen up, you know, and losing screws is not really the most, you know, happy thing when you get home and you find out you lost screws. So bring an Allen key of some sort with different sizes so that you could, you know, tighten up, tune up your board, you know, when you're going mainly for off-roading and when you're hitting a lot of big roots and drops. You know, I faced this when doing this on my own, and it's a little bit scary when your board is a little loose and, you know, you didn't realize that it was because you didn't tighten up things, and then you don't have a way to tighten it up, and then you're afraid to ride it, and it just breaks your whole confidence. Don't do that. Just bring an Allen wrench or key, have it with you. You never know when you need to tighten up something. So the next thing I want to bring up is also a flashlight. Now, I like to ride at night. I'm a night rider, you know, by preference. I like to ride at night. I like the extra level of, I guess you could say, risk that comes with night riding, because you can't quite see far ahead of you, you know, because it's darker. But having that flashlight will allow you to get that visibility that you get during the daytime, and you can kind of flash it and you can kind of see what's ahead, and you kind of obviously calculate in your head how you're going to hit that bump or that hole or whatever, that route. So definitely bring a flashlight. And it's also safety, because I have rode in certain remote areas and there are some creatures, and ruffling in the bushes when you're riding is a little creepy, but being able to flash and to show that you have some authority there, you know, like a deer in headlights, right? You can kind of pause those animals and kind of do that. Definitely is a little creepy when you flash your flashlight and you see a pair of eyes, more than one of them especially. So, but bring a flashlight because it can deter those creatures and animals. Now, the next thing I'm going to bring up is an umbrella. Now, an umbrella it has two purposes, okay? Not only does it cover you from the rain, I know that's a funny sight, riding the Onewheel with an umbrella, it's pretty funny, but you know, not that, you know, bring an umbrella, or I would go ahead and say also like a GoPro extension pole or a selfie pole, and that's really good for dogs. I don't know about you guys, but I've been riding, man, and doggone big old dogs start coming at me. You know, I've had a pit bull come at me one time, and you know, I had to really, you know, pull out my pole, and I had to tell the owner, like, if he comes near me, you know, I'm gonna have to do what I have to do. Make sure you have something to kind of fend off the dogs or just kind of shoo them away. Obviously, you don't want to actually hit anything unless you have to, but having that item, it just gives you a level of comfort. But by any means, don't get off the board. Don't get off the board. You have power when you're on the board, but when you're off the board, you lose power. Just throwing that out there. And then I also want to bring up, you know, this is a pretty generic one, but bring pads and gear, you know, helmet and things like that, you know, especially if you're a new rider. You're going to fall a little bit more than the average person that has a lot of experience on the Onewheel. So make sure you're geared up, you know. I won't beat a dead horse on that because, you know, that's up to you guys. But I like to gear up. You know, I can't afford, I have a family, I have a job and all these things, and obviously I make content. If I'm broken up and everything, I can't get here on YouTube on the you know, on the camera and do what I do here for you guys. So, you know, there's a lot that relies on me, and so I have to be safe when I'm riding. You know, even though I do a lot of tricks and things, it looks like I ride very riskily, but I'm actually very geared up, and when I fall, there's very little to no damage at all when I do fall. So, and I don't push on pushback or anything like that. You know, I've done it a couple times and won't be doing that again, but definitely bring some gear of some sort. You know, if you're that risk rider, you know, I recommend it just because I care about you guys, okay? I don't like to see anybody get hurt. And then the next thing I want to bring up is a battery pack. Now, a battery bank or something to charge, you know, cell phones, to charge your cameras or whatever you're doing. You know, they even got some big battery packs if it's the right wattage and voltage or whatever it may be. You can even charge your Onewheel on it. So, you know, that might be really useful in a pinch if you're really out in the boondocks and you really need to charge. I definitely recommend bringing some type of extra power source. So that was pretty much my list there. You know, I definitely think that all of those have importance and depending on the situation, and obviously you can't bring everything. Obviously your bag would be a lot larger but I definitely think that if you're going to be in a group ride, you know, maybe you can have one person bring one of the other, you know, items, and that way everyone is on a very light, you know, ride. But I definitely feel that you need to have at least some, or if not all or half or most, you know, I would say the most important, if I really had to boil it down to the most important things to bring, I'm going to probably say, you know, a pump. You know, I would say a pump, a phone, and an Allen key, and then the protective gear. I mean, there's always a workaround, right? There's always a workaround, but I would say that the most important that you just can't get around is the flat tire thing, you know, and then the communication thing. There's nothing that can replace protective gear on your body as well. So those things I would say are the most important out of the list. If I had to say that they were important. But if you guys have some suggestions or more items or things that you feel that you should bring on a Onewheel ride, just go ahead and comment below and, you know, share it with everybody, because You know, if there's a way to like combine some of these tools and things into a single item that you can put in your bag, the person that makes that for Onewheel will be probably rich. So now I'm just rambling on, so I'll go ahead and end it right here. But if you like this kind of content, go ahead and like and subscribe. I hope you guys found some value in this video. And of course, if you're floating already, continue to float. If you're not floating, find a way to float. Muse out. See y'all.